Welcome back, everyone. I am so glad you're here today because we have a truly fantastic explainer lined up for you. We're going to be talking about a concept that acts as the ultimate guide for any business trying to navigate its way through chaotic change. Seriously, if you've ever wondered how massive complex organizations manage to evolve, completely transform their digital landscapes, and somehow not collapse on themselves during the process, well, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're unpacking the world of enterprise architecture. So let's just dive right into it.
Section 1. The Chaos of Business Change.
To really understand why all this matters, I want you to picture a hypothetical company. They're going through this massive digital transformation, but they are absolutely drowning in a fragmented mess of legacy, manual, and automated processes. Basically, every single department is just doing its own thing. Have you ever watched a company try to upgrade its tech and literally everything just falls apart? It's kind of like a rapidly growing city where someone just forgot to draw up a master plan. The roads don't connect, the plumbing in one neighborhood doesn't match the next, and everyone is speaking a totally different language. In the business world, this looks like departments working in complete silos. The marketing systems literally cannot talk to the finance systems, and absolute chaos reigns the second you try to change even one small thing.
Section 2. Enter the enterprise architecture. Okay, so this is exactly where our hero enters the story. To rescue a business from that fragmented mess, you need a master plan. And at its core, enterprise architecture is exactly that. It's the strategic approach to optimizing those broken, legacy processes into a seamlessly integrated, highly responsive environment that actually supports your business strategy. Now, it's absolutely crucial to realize that this is not just dense IT jargon. Not at all. This is a vital strategic tool for C-level leaders because it allows individual business units to innovate safely without accidentally breaking the rest of the company.
So an architecture framework essentially gives you a method for describing two very distinct states of your business. First, you have your baseline state. That's the messy, fragmented, siloed world of processes you're currently stuck in. Then you have your target state, which is that beautifully harmonized, agile, and integrated digital environment you want to reach. The architect's job here is to figure out the exact building blocks required to get you safely from that messy baseline to that perfect target state. It's like a giant puzzle, and they have the picture on the box.
Section 3. Why standard frameworks matter.
But how do you actually build that map? I mean, you wouldn't try to build a skyscraper without a proven instruction manual, right? This is exactly why standard frameworks matter. To quote the source material here, using a standard like the TOGAF standard results in enterprise architecture that is consistent, reflects the needs of stakeholders, employs best practice, and gives due consideration both to current requirements and the perceived future needs of the business. Because this standard has been developed collaboratively by a massive community of experts, it drastically de-risks the entire transformation process for you. Plus, it standardizes the vocabulary, which means everyone is finally speaking the same language.
And that brings us to one of the coolest concepts that comes from using this framework. It's the pursuit of something called boundaryless information flow. Okay, I know that sounds super technical, but let's break it down into everyday language. It simply means defining the structures and processes that allow different departments within your enterprise, and even partners outside of it, to seamlessly access and share vital information. No more walls. No more data trapped down in a single department's basement.
Section 4. Customizing to fit your needs.
Now you might be thinking, wow, this sounds massive. Do I really have to implement every single rule in this huge framework? Absolutely not. No way. When adopting a framework, an organization is going to deliberately choose some elements. They'll customize others, and they will completely exclude some things. The source actually gives a fantastic, relatable example of this. An organization might adopt the framework's meta model, which is essentially the core structure, but they might completely exclude the guidance on how to develop an in-house technology architecture. Why? Well, maybe they're heavy consumers of cloud services, so in-house server guidance is completely useless to them. You just take what works for your strategy and leave the rest.
Section 5. Balancing conflicting stakeholder needs.
Because let's face it, business isn't just systems, right? It's people. And during any major change, you are guaranteed to encounter a central conflict. Your key stakeholders are going to have totally conflicting requirements. You've got marketing over here wanting the latest flashy digital tools to generate revenue. You've got IT focused on efficiency, technical debt, and keeping costs down. And then you've got legal practically panicking about documenting data processes to comply with global privacy laws. The enterprise architect acts as the wise guide in all of this. They identify these requirements and they develop clear views of the architecture to show exactly how these concerns are going to be addressed. And more importantly, they expose the necessary trade-offs. They reconcile these conflicts so the business can actually move forward together, rather than just fighting it out in the boardroom.
Section 6. Timing and C-level benefits.
Which brings us to a really critical question. When is the absolute best time to bring in the architect to start mapping out this strategic journey? The answer is crystal clear. Day 1. To get the greatest benefit, enterprise architecture should be done early, and it should provide continuous guidance throughout the entire change process to help your decision makers actually understand the implications of what they're doing. Bringing the architect in at year 1, after all the decisions have already been made, that is a huge, costly mistake. At that point, the architecture isn't guiding you at all. It is literally just reduced to the documentation or the enforcement of bad choices. Without that early insight, those decisions can be far-reaching and incredibly detrimental.
But when you do it right and you build that blueprint early, the ultimate payoffs for C-level executives are just massive. You get significantly more effective strategic decision-making. You get an agile organization that can turn on a dime and quickly respond to change. You inherently lower your business operation costs because you're actively reducing IT complexity. Your procurement becomes faster and much simpler because every buying decision is guided by a coherent plan. And ultimately, you maximize the return on investment in both your existing business and your IT systems. It is literally a game changer for any digital transformation.
Which leaves us with a pretty critical thought to end on today. Is your organization building its future with a deliberate, strategic blueprint? Or are you just kind of throwing technology at the wall and hoping all the pieces magically fit together? Implementing a structured enterprise architecture definitely takes work, for sure. But it really is the only way to ensure your business actually thrives through change rather than being completely consumed by it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Keep learning, keep structuring your success, and we'll see you next time.